He can make you laugh, spoil you with gifts, even make you feel like the only woman in the room. But none of it matters if his character is weak. What you ignore while dating, the blame, the walls, the quiet disrespect, will one day break your heart. Love can't fix what a man refuses to change. Hi, welcome back to Journey After 60. In today's video, I want to share with you 3 bad habits in men that are not just red flags, they are deal breakers. If you notice these traits, never marry him, because the life you deserve is one of peace, respect, and love. A life that lifts you higher, not one that slowly drains your spirit. Before we begin, if what I share today resonates with you, I hope you'll pass it along to a friend who may need a little hope for her own love story. So, if you're wondering where it all begins, let me take you to the very first warning sign, and it just might surprise you. Number 1. Chronic blame and never taking responsibility. In every relationship, there will come a time when life throws challenges your way. No couple is immune to stress, mistakes, or misunderstandings. But what truly matters is how a man responds when things don't go as planned. A man who constantly blames others, but never himself, reveals something dangerous: a lack of humility and the courage to take responsibility. At first, it may seem trivial. He blames traffic for being late, his boss for his bad mood, or even you for his stress. But over time, this becomes a pattern, and patterns like these are nearly impossible to live with in marriage. When a man refuses to take responsibility, 2 things happen. First, he stunts his own growth because he never learns from his mistakes. And second, he quietly shifts the blame onto you. Suddenly, every argument becomes your fault. Every disappointment circles back to you. And little by little, the relationship turns into an exhausting cycle where you are defending yourself instead of feeling loved. Ancient wisdom says, "The wise man blames no one." Responsibility isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's the willingness to say, "Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I could have done better." And without that, there can be no foundation for trust. Because how can you trust a man to care for your heart if he can't even own his actions? Have you ever felt drained by someone's endless excuses? Let me know in the comments below. You're not alone. Sometimes sharing our experiences reminds us that we are not unreasonable for expecting basic respect and honesty. The danger with chronic blame is that it often comes wrapped in charm and followed by an apology. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm just stressed." But here's the truth. Stress doesn't cause bad character. Character reveals itself under stress. And if a man cracks under the smallest pressure, what will happen when real storms of life come? Think about the major decisions you'll face together: financial hardships, health struggles, family conflicts, career changes. If he can't take responsibility for forgetting the milk at the store, how can he possibly shoulder the weight of shared responsibilities in marriage? You deserve a partner who can look you straight in the eyes and say, "That was my fault." Because if he can't take responsibility for small mistakes, he will never be able to take responsibility for your shared future. A relationship built on excuses is like a house built on sand. It collapses as soon as a real storm hits. But blame isn't the only poison that can destroy a relationship. There is another habit, just as destructive, that eats away at your spirit, piece by piece. Number 2. Lack of respect. Respect is the foundation of any lasting relationship. Love may survive many storms, but it cannot survive chronic disrespect. You might notice it in small ways at first: a dismissive comment, a joke at your expense, ignoring your opinions, or rolling his eyes when you speak. These moments may seem minor, almost harmless, but respect, or the lack of it, shows itself in everyday behavior. Over time, these small actions can quietly erode your spirit. A man who disrespects you, whether subtly or overtly, is signaling more than just bad manners. He is revealing the place you hold in his life without even needing to say it. If he cannot honor your thoughts, your feelings, or your boundaries now, how can he trust him to do so when the real storms of life arrive, during illness, financial challenges, family conflicts, or the inevitable hardships of aging together? Respect isn't shown in grand gestures or perfectly chosen words. It lives in the quiet, everyday moments, when he truly listens, keeps his promises, speaks with kindness even in anger, values what you bring to the table, and honors the dreams that matter to you. For a woman who gives her heart and shares her life, these aren't luxuries. They're the foundation of love that lasts. I remember a dear friend in her 60s who shared her story with me. She had been dating a man who, on the surface, seemed charming and attentive, but in quiet, casual moments, he would interrupt her, dismiss her ideas, or make jokes that made her feel small. At first, she brushed it off, hoping it was just his humor, just his personality. But over time, those small moments became a clear reflection of his character. She realized, if he cannot show basic respect now, what will happen when life gets difficult? Recognizing this truth gave her the courage to end the relationship before it drained her joy, a decision she later described as one of the most empowering of her life. Respect in a relationship is like oxygen. You may not always notice it, but when it's gone, it becomes impossible to breathe. Without it, resentment quietly builds, accumulating like dust in a room until it overshadows the connection you've worked so hard to nurture. Love cannot flourish in a space where respect is absent. It withers, unnoticed, until it is nearly gone. So, if a man shows disrespect, even in small, subtle ways, take notice. Don't ignore it. Don't excuse it. A life with respect is non-negotiable. You deserve a partner who honors you in every action, word, and choice. And as we move forward, the next warning sign is one that hides behind silence, yet can wound just as deeply: emotional withholding, or stonewalling. Number 3. Emotional withholding, or stonewalling. Have you ever felt the weight of silence in a relationship? Not the peaceful quiet after a pleasant conversation, but the tense, heavy quiet that follows an argument, or sometimes comes without warning at all. For many men, especially in their 60s and 70s, shutting down emotionally can become a habit. When he stonewalls you, refuses to share his feelings, or withdraws in moments of tension, it can be just as damaging as overt conflict. Emotional withholding isn't about being private. It's about withholding connection, the willingness to be vulnerable, to let someone in, to share what's really going on inside. When a man consistently shuts you out, he sends a clear message. Your feelings don't matter enough to engage with, and my discomfort is more important than your need for closeness. Over time, this creates distance, frustration, and loneliness, even in a relationship that seems fine on the surface. I felt it deeply the first time I heard my cousin, now in her 70s, talk about her marriage during a family gathering with the women in our house. Her husband, a retired businessman, had a habit of retreating whenever a disagreement arose. He would leave the room, avoid eye contact, and refuse to speak for hours. She tried gently encouraging him, asking questions or giving him space, but nothing broke through. The emotional silence slowly built a wall between them. She realized that if she wanted a marriage filled with trust, intimacy, and partnership, this pattern could not continue unchecked. Stonewalling teaches a partner that their emotions are unsafe, that speaking up may be met with withdrawal or avoidance. And when this becomes a repeated pattern, it silently erodes trust, intimacy, and emotional safety, the very foundations of a healthy marriage. It's not just frustrating, it can be profoundly lonely, making a person feel unseen, unheard, and unworthy of genuine connection. Disagreements will always happen, even in the happiest marriages. But the real danger lies when words stop flowing, emotions are ignored, and the safe space to share feelings vanishes. True intimacy thrives only when both hearts are present, when honesty is met with understanding, and when vulnerability is welcomed rather than punished. Recognizing stonewalling is not about labeling or condemning him. It is about protecting yourself, honoring your heart, and understanding the kind of love that is truly sustainable. A man who values you will meet your need for connection, even when it's uncomfortable. He will not retreat into silence because he knows that presence, honesty, and emotional engagement are the deepest forms of love he can offer. Right now, you can save this video to come back to anytime you need a reminder of what you truly deserve. Share it with friends who might need to hear this too, to help them see that silence isn't always golden, and sometimes it's a sign that attention and action are needed. Reflecting on the 3 habits we've explored, one thing becomes clear. True love isn't about charm, gifts, or fleeting laughter. It is about being seen, valued, and cherished for exactly who you are. True love uplifts your spirit, honors your heart, and stands beside you through life's challenges, never leaving you to face them alone. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote, "Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction." After 60, love is about depth, trust, and the quiet strength of character that reveals itself over time. It is about choosing a partner who walks with you, shares responsibility, and embraces both the joys and storms of life. If a man repeatedly blames others, disrespects you, or shuts you out emotionally, these are not minor flaws. They are patterns that quietly erode trust, intimacy, and joy. Recognizing these warning signs is not cynicism, it is wisdom. It is honoring yourself and your right to a partnership rooted in respect, honesty, and genuine care. The love you deserve inspires you, lifts you, and allows you to live freely while sharing life with someone who chooses you every day, not because he must, but because he cannot imagine life without you. When you align with these truths, you invite a love that is rich, lasting, and transformative, one that nurtures your spirit and warms your heart through every season of life. So keep your heart open, your spirit steady, and let both guide you toward the love you are meant to have. And if these words resonate with you, consider subscribing to Journey After 60 so we can continue exploring the truths, surprises, and quiet joys of building love that is deep, authentic, and enduring in the golden years of life. Thanks for watching my video, and see you next time.